Okay, so let's talk about your adrenals and kidneys, with an emphasis on the adrenals and how to keep them happy. There are very basic daily routines which you can easily master, and inexpensive herbs and vitamins which you can easily obtain. These vitamins and herbs will not only benefit the adrenals and kidneys, but many other organs and glands in the body, including our largest organ, the skin. I'm making a basic sketch here so we can see what we're talking about. Many people who believe they have health issues stemming from the adrenals will spend big bucks on supplements, but they don't know the basics of what the adrenals and kidneys crave, or even where the adrenals are located. One guy I talked to was convinced his adrenals were in his head. People can unknowingly prevent these organs from healing properly. This subject can become very complicated very quickly. People become desperate, demoralized, and they want answers. Are there simple steps we can take which could prevent all of this from occurring in the first place? Well, let's take a look at some basic options you can employ for keeping your adrenals and kidneys happy. Well, everybody, say hello to the two most abused sets of organs in the human body, your kidneys and adrenals. The right kidney in real life is much lower than the left kidney due to the largest organ in the body, the liver, taking up so much space on top of this kidney as it grows in. And here's where your adrenal glands are located. They're not in your head. There's one on top of each kidney. Adrenal, from the Latin, near kidney. The kidneys are the miraculous multitasking living membranes, over-engineered with redundant systems built in, designed to last a lifetime with a minimum of common sense maintenance. If they were a car, they'd be a mid to late 90s Toyota Camry, maybe a 2011 Toyota Camry with red paint, of course. The adrenals, they're more like sports cars, lots of power here, but when you abuse them and they break down, it's not pretty, and it can be very expensive to repair them, and you better use the best replacement parts available. The adrenals are not large enough to have space for the redundant systems that the kidney has. In my Astragalus root video, I talk more in depth about all that. And the adrenals do have a very specific set of requirements for operating correctly, and I will be glad to tell you the basics that the adrenals need, the basics. And just a brief note about the kidneys. This is where a critical function of blood pH balance regulation occurs. The body uses respiration and chemical buffers to balance pH, and then the kidneys. The kidneys do their part to make sure that the pH of your blood stays between 7.35 and 7.45. When your blood pH drops below 6.8 or rises higher than 7.8, your life is in danger. I'd be surprised if you were still conscious. It happens, but these people are at extreme risk. And this is blood pH I'm talking about, not urine pH. People go to health food stores, they get pH strips, they urinate on them, see what their pH is, do it first thing in the morning. What you're testing is not the pH of the blood. You're testing the pH of the urine. Blood pH, urine pH are two totally different systems. To test blood pH accurately, you would need what is known as an ABG, arterial blood gas test, to see what your blood pH is. That's where you go to the doctor and the nurse sticks a nice big needle into your arm. It's not pleasant. The adrenals are intimately linked to two organs in the head, the hypothalamus and the pituitary, right behind this area, the eyes and the nose. So we have the adrenals, and then we have the hypothalamus and pituitary. Watch it, buddy. And this makes up what is known as the HPA axis, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. Just think of these two organs in the brain as making phone calls to the adrenals. And if the adrenals do not pick up or cannot pick up the phone, then they don't get the information they need. They don't get the message. And then bad things begin to happen. Depending on your constitution, maybe years before you see any ill effects, or it can be a much quicker time frame. There's no shortage of teenagers with poor adrenal function already. Happens all the time for many reasons. That's another video. Some functions of the adrenals include helping you adapt to stress, controlling inflammation, controlling blood sugar levels, water balance, thyroid function, allergic responses, immune function, energy, that's always nice, blood pressure. Just a quick note about blood pressure. If you are eating garlic cloves every day and you suspect that your adrenals are not up to par, you may want to stop taking that garlic for a little while. Garlic lowers blood pressure, and if your adrenals are not currently working correctly, if they're not up to par, then your blood pressure is already low. So what happens? You go to stand up and stand up quickly, gravity steps in, pulls the blood away from the brain. But your adrenals have not been producing enough epinephrine, enough adrenaline. So an epinephrine, adrenaline, constricts blood vessels, keeps blood from leaving your brain too fast. So what happens when you don't have this? You feel lightheaded, you got to hold on to something, you might pass out. Orthostatic hypotension. If it keeps getting worse, you won't just black out. You could have a stroke. So how do we know if these three organs are not communicating properly? Well, there are signs of what is called HPA Axis deficiency. What are these signs? Well, I already mentioned the low blood pressure, but you can take a pen light and you shine it in someone's eyes and the pupil will dilate and contract like it doesn't know what to do, like it's confused. You are tired all the time. You look depleted. You'll have a pale tongue. You'll have dark circles under your eyes. When you stick your tongue out, it shakes like a leaf in the wind. You may have salt cravings. So how did we get here? Is there one thing that we can do which will help us more than anything else? What is the simplest yet biggest change that we can make to help our adrenals and kidneys and to help us take a huge step forward towards resolving this HPA axis deficiency? The answer is restful sleep. Not just sleep, but restful sleep. Restful sleep is more important than any herb, any supplement. You must guard your sleep jealously. When we experience truly restful sleep on a regular basis, our body heals during a stage of sleep known as delta stage. It lasts about 30 minutes. And this is where tissue regeneration occurs. What is restful sleep like? Because a lot of people don't know. They haven't had it in so long, they forget. Well, it's real simple. You go to bed, your body and brain move smoothly through different stages of sleep. You wake up 8 or 9 hours later, you've had some great dreams, and when you wake up, you're not tired. You're ready to begin your day. When you do not get restful sleep, cortisol levels rise, immune function lowers, your digestion gets all screwed up. Your risk of cancer increases, risk of heart disease increases, thyroid function is hampered, HPA axis function is hampered. You are slowly becoming unraveled. Restful sleep puts you back together again. But there are no shortcuts. What are the chances that a lot of people who seek help for what they call adrenal fatigue, kind of a catch-all term, what are the chances that these people have not enjoyed restful sleep in quite some time? Probably years. I'd take that bet. Restful sleep is fundamental, foundational, critical for repair and regeneration. As you sleep at night, you go through different stages. Each stage is important. But if you sleep long enough, you will revisit the healing delta stage of sleep more than once during the night. Light sleepers, they don't revisit this delta stage of sleep very often, the healing stage. If you wanted to ruin someone's health, you'd make sure that they never experienced restful sleep. You'd make sure they woke up at least once during the night and then they couldn't get back to sleep again for a while. Make sure they have trouble getting back to sleep, denying them as much delta sleep as possible. You need the delta sleep. In the morning, you would give this person a nice big cup of coffee, no decaf. You want all that caffeine pumping through their bloodstream. Caffeine blocks the cell receptors where adenosine is supposed to go. Adenosine is the hormone that tells you you're tired. Hey, you need to slow down. This would be a great time. Get a nap, get some sleep. When the caffeine molecule takes the place of adenosine in the cell receptors, the pituitary sends a signal to the adrenals and it says, red alert. This is an emergency. Start producing adrenaline. And then your body is ready to fight, to run from danger, to navigate insane traffic, deal with an annoying coworker, your totalitarian boss. Of course, you would make sure that this person ate a typically disastrous American diet every day with extra binging on the weekends. You got to binge on the weekends because you deserve it. You survived another work week. So you start eating more of the same foods that ruined your health in the first place. Poor diet. If you really wanted to see this person fall apart in front of your eyes, you would make them a swing shift worker. You would have their body so confused it would not know what was going on. Caffeine pumping through the body during the day. No, stop. Now caffeine is pumping through the body at night. No, stop. Now it's pumping through during the daytime. No, no. Now it's nighttime. Interrupted sleep. No delta sleep, no healing, no stability. These are all things the body needs. That person would have a great opportunity to fall asleep right in front of your eyes. Does any of this sound familiar? Is this you? To help us get restful sleep, this is where a nightly ritual or routine comes in handy. You need time every night, and you say, this time is mine, no one else's. This is your precursor to mentally getting ready for a great night's sleep. The ritual or routine is to tell your mind, okay, I'm at home now, my day has come to a close, it's time to sleep and heal. The more you do this on a regular basis, you psychologically begin to see it as a safe zone. It's yours, it's no one else's. So make this your own. And these rituals help us mentally prepare for falling asleep. That's the whole goal. It instills a sense of control that leads to calm. So what happens in this ritual? Well, there's many ways, but one way to do this is by making an herbal tea or taking an herbal tincture just before bed. Herbs which help send you off to that restful sleep. Herbs which are tailored to you, your personality. So what herbs? Well, we have lots of great sleep herbs. We're spoiled for choice, really. And they are inexpensive. You can go online or go out to a store and get them quickly. So I'll give you just a few examples, tailoring them to a certain personality. Are you the type of person who lies in bed and you cannot shut off the mental chatter in your brain? It goes something like this. Oh, I'm exhausted. Did I pay the electric bill? No, that's not due till next Wednesday. But I have to turn auto pay back on and transfer money from one account to the other. Every trash day, my neighbor's garbage blows across my lawn. I know he sees it. He just doesn't care. I'm sure I saw a new wrinkle in the mirror this morning. Johnny said he needed my help with homework, but then he didn't ask me. He better not be failing again. Why do we park on the driveway and drive on the parkway? Is my stove on? I can't remember if I turned the ringer on my phone up or down. I better get that promotion at work or I'm going to go berserk. And it just keeps going, these mental scenarios. Am I out of toilet paper? I mean, it doesn't matter. Your brain is just running in circles. Some of the scenarios are legitimate, but some of them are not. And you get locked into this mental pattern where you can't get to sleep. The herb for this is Passionflower, Latin name Passiflora incarnata. I've used it myself. Passionflower shuts off the mental chatter in your brain as your mind recycles these endless scenarios which keep you from falling asleep. Very creative people will have periods where this endless, boundless creativity keeps them from falling asleep when they're working on a new, exciting project. You can get Passionflower online from many different places. You can get it in health food stores as well. Chamomile. This one goes back a long time. It's available everywhere. It's an anxiolytic. Well, Sean, what's an anxiolytic? Well, it lowers your anxiety levels. It calms you down. It's a mild sleep aid. It's easily made as a tea. Like I say, it's available online. You can go out to a health food store and get it. They all have this. It's been used for hundreds of years as a sleep aid because it's reliable and it's worked for so many people. Do you have an occupation where your muscles are too tight when you come home at night? Maybe you're in an awkward position during the day, or maybe you are in one of the building trades and at night you come home and this muscle tightness just continues and you can't fall asleep. Restless leg syndrome. Do you get angry as hell at the drop of a hat to where you're calm 1 minute and then you feel this pressure building inside you until you are ready to take your fist and smash it through someone's head? Road ragers are like this. It's the end of the world. Everyone needs to listen to me now. Why is no one listening to me? Can you tell I know somebody just like this? They'll never see this video. Try Skullcap tincture made from the fresh herb, not the dried herb. Skullcap, fresh herb. It relaxes tight muscles and it calms down this hot-headed personality type. You just have to figure out a way to get it into them. Rooibos tea. I made a video about it. Rooibos tea. For many people, this is a sleep aid. No caffeine. It's slightly sweet, so no sugar to spike your insulin and make you wake up later in the night. If you're used to drinking alcohol before bed, glass of wine, more than one glass before bed, yeah, you may get to sleep easier, but does it make you wake up in the middle of the night? Does it give restful sleep, or does it interrupt these stages of sleep that we have to go through? Depending on how much you drink, it could very well affect your ability to dream, which means it's definitely affecting the stages of sleep that you must move through. Rooibos can take the place of alcohol. It's something you drink before bed. It won't keep you up all night. And above and beyond all that, this is a great herbal beverage with many health benefits. So check out my Rooibos video. Linden Flower made as a tea. Lemon Balm made as a tea. These are great herbs. These are great herbal choices. If you're looking for something a little different, blue lotus flowers made as a tea helps you sleep. For some people, it helps them with lucid dreaming. It's kind of cool. For other people, it's a libido booster. So that's always good. Stinging nettle leaf. Some stinging nettle. Easily available online, available everywhere. Makes a great tea. Nettle leaf is great for the kidneys and adrenals. Very good tea for the kidneys and adrenals. It is a go-to for a lot of people for what they call adrenal fatigue. And as a bonus, nettle leaf helps to prevent 2 different types of kidney stones. I believe it's calcium oxalate and uric acid. So you're getting lots of minerals in this as well. This is a really great multitasking herb, world class, and it's found in abundance online. Another step we can take to get this restful sleep would be a few minutes of deep breathing. This is when you're in bed. You do this after you drink your herbal sleep aid or you've taken your tincture. You're lying in bed, all the lights are off. And if you have to put a tarp over your windows to keep the light out, then do it. Many people, when they black out their windows, they immediately begin to sleep deeper. So basically, you want to sleep in a cave. No electronics, no TV, no wires running under your bed, no extension cords under the bed. And deep breathing is another easy step we can take to help get that delta level sleep where healing occurs. Remember, that's the goal of all this, to go through all the stages of sleep, and our goal is to get to that delta level of sleep, that healing stage. And this is a cycle which will repeat itself over and over throughout the course of true restful sleep. So deep breathing. I do 5 seconds of inhalation, hold for 5 seconds, exhale for 5 seconds, all the air out. Then 5 seconds of inhalation, hold for 5 seconds, exhale for 5 seconds. Make sure all the air is out. Repeat this for 2 or 3 minutes. This puts you into an alpha state, and drifting off can be much easier. A lot of benefits to this type of breathing. You can modify the number of seconds, inhalation, exhalation, holding to your liking. I prefer the 5 seconds cycle. So our goal is to get restful sleep so the body can repair itself. And we have 2 easy steps already. Get an herbal sleep aid. Some of them can be matched to your personality, and deep breathing. So far this is very inexpensive. That's always good. So what's next? Here's a pastel explosion. I think I saw some of these colors on a Miami Vice episode in the 80s. This is Say Hello to Your Adrenal Gland. This is a cross section. A lot of cholesterol here. Cholesterol is used in the production of many hormones: aldosterone, cortisol, DHEA, sex hormones. Your liver makes about 1,000 milligrams of cholesterol a day. Depending on your diet, it will adjust to what's incoming, what you're eating. Now, this zone here, this is called the zona fasciculata. And this wide band here, this light colored band, holds a lot of vitamin C. The medical textbook Ham's Histology, 9th edition, tells us that this part of the adrenal gland holds a lot of vitamin C. How do I know that? Because somebody told me this, and so I went out and bought a copy to see if they were right. You always check what people tell you when it comes to health. And they were right. Page 609 of this book tells us that this area has ample amounts of vitamin C. The pituitary is abundant in vitamin C as well, and it should be. And the pituitary works in league with the adrenals. You can read research on the adrenals going back to the 40s and 50s, and these old research studies, 60, 70 years ago, they see that when there is more vitamin C in the lab animal's diet, then the vitamin C in the adrenals goes up as well. And I have some quotes here from different research studies. I printed them off because I wanted to be accurate about it. One study from 1954 states, talking about animal studies here, to summarize these observations, it's been shown that as dietary ascorbic acid was increased, the ascorbic acid per 100 grams of adrenals was also increased. Once vitamin C is digested, it is dispersed throughout the body and accumulates in varying concentrations in various cells and organs. The highest levels of vitamin C accumulation in the body are in the islands, adrenal gland, and pituitary gland. The highest concentrations of ascorbate in the body are found in the brain and in the neuroendocrine tissues such as adrenal. According to some studies, vitamin C has its highest concentrations in pituitary and adrenal glands. 100 grams per 30 to 50 milligrams per 100 grams of wet tissue. So, what does this tell us about the adrenals? What do we need to know? Well, vitamin C is abundant in the adrenals, and your body makes sure that the adrenals are getting that vitamin C. It is a priority. But what happens when you're not getting enough vitamin C in your diet? Well, the body it's insistent. It's going to keep sending whatever vitamin C is available, the bulk, down to the adrenals, pituitary gland. The rest of the body goes without. These organs are endocrine glands. If it's a choice between maintaining the adrenals or you getting wrinkly skin, the adrenals win. But it's a lot more than just preventing wrinkly skin. Vitamin C is a component in the formation of collagen. This means healthy skin, less wrinkles. But vitamin C is critical in ligament and tendon health. Vitamin C helps your arteries stay healthy. Vitamin C makes it possible for the arteries to maintain the thick muscular walls needed to hold blood that's under high pressure. And there's a huge amount of blood moving through these arteries. 47.5 gallons a day by some accounts are moving through these kidneys. Vitamin C helps us maintain healthy cartilage, bones, eyes, teeth. It's great for wound healing. Do you want to compromise all of those? Make sure you're getting adequate vitamin C. Vitamin C is used in the formation of different adrenal hormones, one of which is cortisol, very important stress hormone. And when you're under stress, the body starts gobbling up vitamin C like crazy. Its usage of vitamin C jumps up multiples all through the body, including right here. Okay. These get depleted if we don't replenish. When you start seeing age-related disorders occurring more and more in people who are obviously too young to suffer from age-related disorders, you really have to wonder how much of the population is simply not even getting the basics. Vitamin C is just about as basic as it gets. So what are good sources of vitamin C? Well, it's easy to go online and see different charts and figures telling you which fruits, vegetables, peppers are high in vitamin C. I like Amla berry. I'll be putting the names of all these herbs down below. But Amla berry, Amalaki, Indian gooseberry, I've been telling people about this for a while now. It's found all over the world. Those are different species, but it's most well known in Ayurvedic medicine. The Latin name is Emblica officinalis. It is a stable, natural form of vitamin C in a world of mass-produced, unstable, artificial vitamin C. And Amla berry has polyphenols, flavonoids, I'm missing one, but it's great for the kidneys, the bowels, and the liver as well. So check out Amla berry. It's a favorite of mine. It's powerful stuff, very powerful. So what's next? Pantothenic acid, aka vitamin B5. The adrenals need pantothenic acid or they will die. They will self-destruct. In research studies, it was found that when animals did not have pantothenic acid in their diet, eventually the adrenals expand in size and then they start falling apart, hemorrhaging blood, and then the animals died. There's a tremendous blood flow going to the adrenals in these suprarenal arteries. Tremendous blood flow. And by the way, this tremendous blood flow from the inferior phrenic artery, this suprarenal arteries here, pumping nutrition into the adrenals. Use this to your advantage for pro-adrenal herbs and fungi, which I'll talk about in a minute. And all these research papers that I quoted on vitamin C, you can read a lot of them about pantothenic acid as well. In human experiments, volunteers had pantothenic acid withdrawn from their diet long term. What happened? Blood sugar levels dropped. They started to get numbness in the hands and feet. Insomnia. Well, we know that's not good. Mood disorders. They got angry. They got depressed. Hormone production in the adrenals requires pantothenic acid. Pantothenic acid is used by the adrenals to protect you against the effects of stress. So pantothenic acid is critical for this area of the body. Vitamin B5, pantothenic acid, can repair and regenerate the adrenal glands. But some sources state that there is a point where pantothenic acid won't help anymore. You can get pantothenic acid in avocados, sunflower seeds, bee pollen. Bee pollen has a lot of B vitamins. I love bee pollen. I like the bee pollen granules. But you can get vitamin B5 pantothenic acid in capsules online if you're allergic to bee products. Pantothenic acid is in a lot of foods, so theoretically you should be getting a lot to the adrenals. But a lot of people regularly consume foods which are astoundingly bad for them. So these vitamins can be severely lacking. If you take them in time, Don't be surprised if your adrenals or asthma start fading away after using vitamin C, pantothenic acid on a regular basis. This is powerful stuff we're talking about. It can change your life. If the herbal sleep aids, deep breathing, vitamin C, pantothenic acid are helping you and you want to go to the next level, this is where very specific herbal powders or herbal tinctures really shine. And there are pro-adrenal herbs that we know have a positive influence on the HPA axis. So these are herbs that we really want to look into. But which adrenal herb is right for you? And this is where people mess up. This is not a generic template, which you just drop any herb you feel like into and expect the same results across the board with everybody. Some pro-adrenal herbs, like nettle leaf, are drying. If you live in New Orleans or Jacksonville, Florida, these are cities with high amounts of humidity, that may not be a problem to take a drying herb. But if you live in Denver, Colorado, you may get dry eyes, dry skin, dry joints. So you would want to add a pinch of Chinese licorice root to your nettle tea to add a moistening effect. Again, moistening herbs are important. We have Chinese licorice root, Astragalus root, American ginseng, red ginseng. Those are moistening, slightly moistening. Some pro-adrenal herbs like ashwagandha are calming. Some herbs are stimulating, way too stimulating. I won't even mention them in a video about the adrenals. Some are stimulating and calming at the same time. Some, like jagulan, they're neutral, energetically neutral. So some examples: are you chronically dry, dry hair, dry eyes, dry mouth, dry skin, dry joints, dry everything? Well, Chinese licorice root, Latin Glycyrrhiza urulensis, that's a moistening herb. Astragalus root is a moistening herb, and astragalus is great for the kidneys. Astragalus could really help you if you're dealing with glomerulonephritis, and I talk more about that in my video on astragalus root. Astragalus root can be made into a tea, taken a few times a day. It's going to make your kidneys and adrenals happy. So check out my astragalus video. American ginseng is a moistening pro-adrenal adaptogen herb as well. These are all great herbs. They're great herbs for the kidneys, the adrenals, for various parts of the body. They'll help the tissues hold moisture. Schisandra Berry is another great pro-adrenal herb, adaptogen herb, stimulating yet calming. Here's some Schisandra Berry I picked up in an outdoor market in Korea. Herbs are my idea of souvenirs. Some people get knickknacks and t-shirts. I get herbs. So how can a Schisandra Berry be stimulating yet calming at the same time? Well, have you ever had a great conversation with someone, a conversation you really enjoyed? You're going back and forth, or maybe you're listening to an interview between two people and they're exchanging ideas that you find fascinating. Great conversation. Well, your mind is pleasantly alert, but your body is calm. Playing chess can be calming, yet you have that pleasant mental alertness. Different puzzles and games can do the same thing. You're not freaked out. You're enjoying the experience. You're focused, yet calm. Well, that's Schisandra Berry. Schisandra Berry exerts a positive influence on the HPA axis, which all proven adaptogens do. What about the adaptogen herb Panax ginseng, red ginseng? This is a small container of red ginseng that I picked up in Korea. I don't know what the quality of this is. I'm not familiar with this brand, but when I was in Korea, I would walk into stores, lots of stores with shelves full of containers of red ginseng. Some were stacked to the ceiling, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of red ginseng in these stores. Extremely popular. Why? Because there's nothing else like it. This is for someone who is drained to the max. They are at their wit's end. They haven't had restful sleep in forever. Their insomnia arises from depletion of core energy. They don't even have the energy to sleep. Sounds Counterintuitive, but it's true. It's a Herculean effort for this person to get up and go to work. At the extreme end, it's a miracle if they can get out of bed and go to the bathroom. Then they go right back to bed and they sleep for another 12 hours. They're cold all the time, even in the summer, even in the tropics. Pale complected, pale tongue, pupils dilate and contract repeatedly. They can't stand to be in crowds. They have a weak voice. Red ginseng deeply nourishes this type of person. It's another proven adaptogen which exerts a positive influence on the HPA axis. It's also slightly moistening. Red ginseng. Cordyceps mushroom. I visited an herb shop on an island off the coast of China. Got this little caterpillar here. Cordyceps mushroom. This is what it looks like. A caterpillar hijacked by a fungus. In this form, Cordyceps is really expensive. I saw hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of Cordyceps for sale in China. Now, you can buy Cordyceps that is grown on rice, maybe soybeans online. This is warming, sweet, slightly moistening. Again, this is a proven adaptogen. It exerts a positive influence on the HPA axis. Remember at the beginning, I said the HPA axis is important. Herbs that help the hypothalamus and the pituitary help the adrenals. They all work together. Ashwagandha, another great adaptogen herb. It exerts a calming influence on the body. This would be a good one to take before bed when you have brain fog, anxiety. Of course, you're probably fatigued, freaked out. You can't sleep. And this isn't necessarily because you don't have the energy to sleep, like I mentioned with people that need red ginseng. There's restful sleep because you don't have the core energy to even generate enough sleep. Then there's lack of sleep because you're stressed. And this is where ashwagandha can help you. Restful sleep brings about that delta level sleep where healing takes place. This makes your kidneys and adrenals happy, and that's what we want. Putting them back together again. Do not take ashwagandha if you have Graves' disease. Eleuthero, Eleutherococcus sentacoccus. Eleuthero, like jagulan, it's considered energetically neutral. This would be an herbal supplement that you can use on a daily basis until you just don't need it anymore. Eleuthero. All those signs of HPA axis deficiency I talked about, the shaking tongue, the dark circles under the eyes, Eleuthero could really come to your rescue here. But you've got to combine it with restful sleep. Don't try and just take the herbs and continue your terrible sleep habits. We're talking about some cool herbs here, but restful sleep is still the king. It's not wise to figure out shortcuts or deny the importance of restful sleep. I was watching a video a few months ago, the great biochemist, William Landes. He said, somebody in the audience questioned him, and William Landes said, the pharaohs were the king of denial, and you don't want to be a pharaoh. So this is nettle seed. This is a tincture that I make once a year in case I or someone in my family needs it for our kidneys. We talked about nettle leaf, but this is nettle seed. I've been telling people about this for years. I'm told it's very well known in herbal circles, but I don't hang around with herbalists. Powerful, powerful kidney herb. It can reverse conditions that many people say are irreversible. You can only get nettle seed once a year, about once a year, September, beginning of October, end of August. Very light and fluffy. You get order a pound of nettle seed and it comes in a big bag because it's so light and fluffy. It is about 50 to 70 bucks a pound. It's worth every penny. So those are just a few pro-adrenal herbs and their actions. Before you take any herb, check for contraindications which may apply to you. Know what you're taking and why you're taking it. And this video could be 4 hours long. There are volumes yet to be discussed about the kidneys and adrenals, but you have to start somewhere. And I wanted to present the basics for you. Restful sleep is number one. You must have restful sleep. I mentioned a few herbs which can help with this. Then there's deep breathing. Deep breathing is free. You can do it anywhere, anytime, by the way, not just before bed, but at night before bed. It puts you into a state where you're ready to peacefully fall asleep. Then we had vitamin C and pantothenic acid, vitamin B5 for the adrenals. I went over the critical importance of these vitamins and what happens when you don't get them. Then I talked about a few pro-adrenal herbs. Some of these are adaptogen herbs. Adaptogens are herbs which fortify, nourish, strengthen, exert a positive influence on the HPA axis, and make the kidneys and adrenals happy. I'll do a whole video on adaptogen herbs someday and do some myth busting and go into all that, but that's another video. So please review this information. Like I said, double check everything that I say, and when you double check what people say, like I did, somebody said, hey, this book says that vitamin C is critical for the adrenals. Well, I went online and I bought a copy because it's my health, and I want to know if it's true or not. There's a lot of misinformation running around out there. So I wanted to provide you with the basics, and this is just about as basic as it gets, and it starts again with restful sleep. So there you go. My name is Sean. I am one with nature. Thank you for watching.